Q&A. Andy's going to get ready for his update. Now, as I mentioned, this is a first time update from Andy from Cruise Canada RV, which is very exciting. So we love having new product on and talking about new things. Now, he's not joining us from Canada or Australia or New Zealand.
Right.
Andy's actually joining us from the UK, so he's working the late shift for us. He's the international sales and marketing coordinator. So Cruise Canada, Cruise America, and Cruise Canada do actively work in the Australian market. He's just not here, but it is great to have Andy as a contact and to have this update today. So Andy, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to
No
let
problem.
you.
Yes, as you can see, my blinds are closed. It's very dark at the back. If I open those blinds, it's whatever, nearly 11 o'clock here in the evening. But yes, I'm happy to be here. And as Charlie said, we are in market in Australia, even though we're not physically there. Me and my colleague Tracy are based in the UK. But yes, we do look after the Australian market and are always available for you to contact us. And at the end, I'll give you our contact details if you don't already have them. So you can always. So yes, we are here to help you, even if we're not there, geographically in your in Australia. So I'll start then with the presentation. So thank you again for joining us, everybody. So yes, as Charlie said, I'm the International Sales and Marketing Coordinator for Cruise America and Cruise Canada. Just to point out at the beginning, they are the same company. Fundamentally, it's just a different operating name in the different countries. So a lot of the stuff that we'll go over will cover the same thing because, as I said, they are fundamentally the same business, but just different names for the different countries. What I will do though is just start with a short video on Cruise Canada, so you can just see kind of what it's like taking one of our ROVs into the beautiful Canadian wilderness.
Canada is a land of stunning landscapes and natural beauty, and for photographers, it's a dream destination. But capturing the beauty of Canada requires more than just a camera. You need the right tools and the right vehicle to get you there. That's where Cruise Canada comes in. For 35 years, they've been providing top-of-the-line RV rentals and sales to travelers across Canada. And as a photographer, I can tell you that there's no better way to see Canada than from the comfort of a Cruise Canada RV. With spacious living areas and comfortable beds and all the amenities you need, you'll have everything to make your trip one to remember. So if you're planning a trip to Canada and want to see all of the beauty this country has to offer, make sure to check out Cruise Canada RV Rentals and Sales and join me in celebrating their 35-year anniversary. Cruise Canada, where the journey is as beautiful as the destination.
So yeah, pretty cool, as you can see there. So we are North America's largest RV rental company. The company itself has been going for 50 years, and you saw in that video, Cruise Canada is 35 years old this year. Majority of that time, it was owned by just one family who was still part of the business, but about 10 years ago, it was sold to the employees. So everybody that works for Cruise Canada owns a part of the business. So from the res agents to the team at the depots, cleaning the vehicles and helping your customers check in, everybody owns a part of that, which we think is the best way forward, hopefully for the next 50 years and more. So to give you some idea about the locations that we offer, then over 40 international rental locations spread across North America, as you can see on the map there. Plenty in the US, as you can see, but also, of course, we have the 5 in Canada as well: Vancouver, Calgary, Toronto, Montreal, and Halifax. You can do one ways between any of the locations, and the only thing you can't do is a cross-border rental. But you can take the vehicles between the two countries without any problems at all. So I just want to point out at this point, it's a good point because you can see the map. Do consider when you're looking at locations, especially for Vancouver, it is worth considering Seattle as a popular location into Canada. If you're finding availability difficult in Vancouver, it is one of our busiest locations. So just bear that in mind. As you can see, our depot is in Everett, which is actually north of Seattle. It's only about an hour from the border. So we do get a lot of people coming to Seattle into Everett location, which is right next to Boeing Field. So if people are in that area, they can make a bit of a day of it. But yes, we do get a lot of Cruise America vehicles going into Canada and doing a Canadian rental but just returning back to the US at the end and then flying out of Seattle, either back to Australia or somewhere else. So yeah, do bear that in mind that Seattle is a very popular location for Canadian rentals with us. And likewise, we do get a lot of Cruise Canada vehicles down into the US as well. So yes, just bear that in mind. It's very flexible. Just that one rule, you have to return it back to the same country that you started from. So even though we have, well, by next summer, we'll be up to about 4,500 vehicles, which is sort of pre-COVID levels. We only have 4 vehicle types, which means it's very straightforward in terms of selling the vehicles. We have the compact, and then small, standard, and large. That's the best way to think of it. They're very, very similar inside, just obviously larger to accommodate more people. Importantly, there's no special license required, so just a normal Australian driving license is absolutely fine. Minimum age is just 21, okay, to drive, unlike a lot of car hires that charge young driver fees. We don't charge that, so there's no surcharge for under 25s. There's no cost for additional drivers. There's no operating limit. So multiple generations of the same family can all drive as long as they just show their driving license when they collect the vehicle. We also include insurance as standard as well within the rates. Okay, so you don't have to get into any insurance extras or anything like that with the vehicle. It's all included in the standard rates. There is an excess of up to $2,500 for damages, but they can reduce that with a zero damage plan, okay, which they can purchase locally at the location. So that's the only thing really to bring that to zero. But yeah, just importantly, no insurance needed to be added on because it's all included. Just so you know, we are the only company that have our vehicles built for the rental market. We have a unique and special deal with Ford. We have our own production line with Ford to build the vehicles. Okay, so we build it for the rental market. So we fully equip them with microwave, fridge, freezer, stove, bathroom, toilet, and shower, all included. So you've got your complete home on wheels when you leave the depot. So just to give you a quick snapshot of the 4 vehicles here, as you can see, in terms of the images, they're very, very similar. As I said, it's just more beds effectively in the larger vehicles. So the C19 sleeps up. We always say under occupy for 1 for comfort. So the C19 would be good for 2 people. The C21, 3 really. And then the C25 is our most popular vehicle. That would be good for sort of 2 adults and 2 small children, or maybe 3 adults. And then the C30 is our largest, which is good for say 2 couples traveling, because it's the only vehicle that has a full bedroom at the back of the vehicle that you can close off for privacy, and it has a separate toilet and shower. So yeah, that's good for 2 couples or a larger family with maybe teenagers traveling. The C30 is a great option. Just so you know, in terms of the numbers, that's the length in feet. Okay, just to give you some idea about the numbers on the vehicles. And even though our largest is the C30, do bear in mind in the US and Canada, that vehicle is medium sized in reality to compare to what's over there as well. So it's definitely a medium sized vehicle on the road, even if it's our largest in the fleet. Okay, so just some extras then on the option extras that you can offer to your customers. Then we offer the vehicle kits, so that's all the cutlery, pots and pans, saucepans, that kind of stuff. Personal kits is your bedding, pillows, towels, blankets, that kind of thing. Mileage, you can select the mileage for your customer, either 100 or 500 kilometers or miles, or we do offer unlimited mileage as well. And we have an unlimited mileage plus. If you see that ever coming up, that's like our all-inclusive package that includes the kits, the miles, and the unlimited generator usage as well. There is generators on board the vehicles, but do bear in mind in Canada, it's only on the C30 that you'll get a generator, not on the other 3 vehicle types. Okay, so if that's really critically important for your customers, they'd have to go for the C30 in Canada. But bear in mind, the generator is not something you have to is required to sort of daily running of the vehicle. It's just there as an extra source of power. And we offer an early bird departure special, EBDS. So if customers want to pick up earlier and drop off later. So standard pickup is between 1 and 4, and drop off is by 11. Okay, so a bit like hotel hours, but we do offer an early bird so they can be on the road in the morning and don't have to return it back to the evening if that works better with flights back to Australia. And the one ways as well, which I'll come on to shortly. So as I mentioned with regards to the one ways, you can't do the one way border across the border. but you can take it between the two countries. They're always on request, the one-ways. Okay, so bear that in mind when you talk to customers. And I'm just going to mention that here, that the Calgary to Vancouver is our most popular one-way across the whole US and Canada. Okay, about 85% of our one-ways in Western Canada are Calgary to Vancouver. So when you're talking to customers, do bear that in mind, and do try and talk to them about going Vancouver to Calgary. The one-way fee is actually cheaper. From Calgary to Vancouver, it's $700, and it's $500 in the other direction, because we're trying to balance the fleet to get vehicles roughly in each location. So it is cheaper on the one-way fee to go eastbound. But yeah, just bear that in mind. If you're talking to customers, if you can get them picking up in Vancouver and driving to Calgary, which means that they've got the Rockies at the end of the trip potentially, then availability generally can be slightly better than the other way around. Our program itself is based on flexible pricing, so a bit like an airline. So it's based on availability really, and as we sell more vehicles, whatever's left becomes more expensive. Okay, so until you get to the last vehicle, so we do suggest that people book as early as possible. There's no deposit required to make a booking with us. Okay, so there's no payment at all at that beginning, that first stage of making a deposit or making a booking. Sorry. Rates are on sale, or rates change weekly, or if they will, they'll change on a Saturday into Sunday. Okay, so if you've got customers that you're quoting on a Monday or Tuesday, that buys you a bit of time before the weekend. If you're quoting customers on a Friday or Saturday, do make sure that they're aware that the rate could change Saturday night into Sunday morning. Okay, it doesn't mean it will, but just bear in mind that it may do that. And we do offer discounted rates for advanced booking discounts. So from the year before, so for next summer, or for next year, the 15% discount is up until the end of this year, December 31st, and then it goes to 10% and then 5% in January and February. We do also offer now a long-term rental discount for people who go for longer rentals over 21 nights. So they are combinable. Okay, so you can end up with somebody on a long month rental, booking early can get 25% discount on the rates, which is amazing. And as you can see on that little slide there, we're on sale until the end of summer 25, so earlier than ever. So plenty of time for people to get their bookings in early. Just so you know, really, we do have a 24-hour helpline for customers. So fundamentally, yes, they're on the road. It's FIT travel, so they're doing their own trip. But if they ever get into any issues, I'm not sure how to work something on the vehicle, we have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week helpline that they can reach us on. The numbers on the contract is printed all over the vehicle, so there's always somebody to help them if they ever need it. We do have a website called RV Check-in. This is our customer-facing site. Okay, so once they've made a booking, we do suggest you pass this website onto them. They can't access any bookings or rates or anything like that, but what they can do is access a wealth of information for the customer, from videos about the vehicles, orientation videos, maps, the app that you can see there, itineraries, everything. So do share that with your customer once they've made a booking, because it will give them so much information before they travel, which is really important. In terms of good reasons, so there's just more generic stuff about motorhomes then, or RVs or campers. It's a very affordable way to travel, given that it's your accommodation and your transportation in one. Especially if you look in where larger families where they need 2 hotel rooms potentially. So yeah, it can be a very affordable way. The freedom and flexibility is, unsurpassed really. You can't beat it. You're not on any fixed itinerary. You can sort of come and go as you wish. So that's amazing to have that freedom to do that. The practical benefits of not having to pack and unpack every day is great. Like once you've done it, there's loads of storage space, especially in the larger vehicles. The C25 and the C30 have got an understorage area where you can put suitcases and things, so they're done. And then also just being able to eat the food that you like. I mean, of course, it's nice to go out and eat in restaurants occasionally, but it's also nice to come to your campground like these guys there, get the food going on the hob. Most campgrounds have got a grill that you can start cooking on, a barbecue, and just eat the food that you normally like to eat at home as well, right? Go shopping to Walmart or anything, get your food and start cooking with your family and friends at the campground is amazing. And also just being outdoors is good for you, right? Health, mentally, physically. It's just lovely to be outdoors and seeing nature and scenery that Canada offers. There's thousands of campgrounds and across North America, so there's always somewhere to stay. Pay Away is a very popular brand. Campgrounds of America, predominantly in the US, but they do have Canadian locations as well. Very good for families. Harvest Hosts is a new entity that we've partnered with recently. Harvest Hosts offer unique campgrounds in wineries and vineyards and breweries and museums and all this kind of stuff. So a great option for people who are looking for something a bit different. There's a lot in BC, around the Okanagan Valley would make sense, with the wine area there. There's also tons of them in Ontario, again, because of the sort of heavy wine production in that part of Canada. So do look out for Harvest Hosts. The Dirt is a great planning website. You can plan routes and they can suggest campgrounds for your customers. So that's wonderful. And also there's great campgrounds across places that you wouldn't think of. I mean, I know just mentioned Disney World down in Florida. It's got its own campground within the Disney Resort. There's a great campground called Burnaby Caribou in Vancouver, which is about a 10-minute walk to the SkyTrain, and then you're straight into downtown. So if your customers want to be in the Vancouver area and camp still, it's voted one of the best in Canada. It's stunning. Yeah, and you can easily get in and out in Vancouver downtown from there as well. So there's some great locations to camp at. And then, of course, you've got the national and provincial parks. Banff, Jasper, Algonquin as examples I made there, $30 to $40 a night, really cheap, amazing campgrounds. The one in Jasper at Whistler, just reopened or opened, I think it was this year, after a whole year of renovations. It's the largest campground in Canada. Brilliant for Jasper National Park. We do suggest booking for those, though. It's very unlikely if you turn up in Banff in July or August and just rock up at the national park campgrounds, you'll get in. That's just the reality. So do make sure your customers pre-book those, but because they're quite cheap, they can just be used as like placeholders, really. And also Discovery Pass is worth buying. I think it's about $140 for the year for a vehicle. Somebody might correct me, but yeah, it can be very good value if you visit in multiple national parks on your trip as well. I mentioned the tour book. We've got some great Canadian itineraries for you to look at. I mean, I've just featured there the classic Quebec and I think the Vancouver Island add-on there. So do look at the tour book, which is available to download. You can send your customers the whole tour book if you wish, or you can just send them individual PDFs of the itineraries. Okay, so do suggest doing that. It really brings the itinerary to life for customers. You can attach it to quotes, and they're only suggestions ultimately. So the customer will do what they like, but they're just good ways of sort of helping them understand what's possible, especially if they've not been to Canada before. They might not really understand the distances involved. So yes, the itinerary is a very good option. So here's a good example for you. This is one of our most popular Best of Canada's West. This again, a round trip. I know I mentioned the one ways early at the beginning, but also do consider talking to customers about round trip rentals in and out of Vancouver. It'll save them the one-way fee, and one way round trips on free sale. So if they're available online, you can book them straight away. So yes, do try and look at the round trips ultimately. You can do this in and out of Vancouver or in and out of Calgary. It doesn't really matter. And a very varied trip. This one, Rockies, and then back through the Vancouver. Amazing kind of 12 days. As I said, they're only suggestions anyway. But on here, there's links to the campgrounds, as you can see, what not to miss, how many kilometers each day to drive. So lots of good, really good content for your customer to help plan their trip. And yeah, that's basically it. I know it's quite quick, but I hope you got something from that. As you can see there, that's Tracy's email and my email address. As I mentioned at the beginning, we're here for you. We operate in the Australian market, even if we're not in Australia. Please do contact us, and we'll always come back to you and help you as much as we can.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andy. That was really valuable. Like I said, we've never had an update from you guys before, and we've never really talked about RV rental before. So it's so great to have you on, and thank you for all the extra information, all those extra tips. The one way, I mean, yeah, one way Vancouver to Calgary works really well from our market because we're flying into the West Coast.
Keep doing that.